Hey guys, welcome back. Let's talk about the Almanac and a little bit of flight planning. So you'll notice on the screen in front of me, we've already got the Almanac showing. This is MTP0, which is us, and MTP1, which is on the left-hand side. And at any time, these two grids are handshaking every once in a while and updating each other with their position, similar to how GPS satellites work. Now, of course, grids aren't the only items in space that we really care about. Waypoints, as they relate to flight plans, are also really important. So let's quickly look at our waypoints. So we've got waypoint 1 over here, and we've got waypoint 2 over here. Okay, cool. So we're going to be using those two waypoints as the basis for our flight plan. So we're going to move away from this grid just because the collision avoidance isn't perfect. Rather, the collision avoidance is good, but the path finding can be a little wonky. So we're not going to stress it out just yet. Let's give it lots of room to breathe so we can prove our example. Okay? So remember how GPSs work. So we'll notice in our GPS menu, we've got access to all of the GPSs that we as a character have saved. This is really important. Programmable blocks and in-game scripts don't have access to waypoints. This is something that only the player does, but you can share them between players, which is pretty nice. And we're going to use the same mechanism to share them with Mother as well. So what we want to do is build a flight plan. So we're going to take waypoint 1 as our starting one. We're going to copy that to the clipboard. This is going to give us a GPS string we're going to use in our flight plan. Right? Then we're going to go to Mother's custom data. We're going to do it in here. This just really is the best interface to be playing around with something like this. So let's build our flight plan. Okay, so let's imagine, we're just going to call it go to test. Sure. Okay? And we're going to make use of the nav set flight plan command, and it's going to receive a string. And that string is going to just be a collection of the GPS waypoints you want it to fly between. Right? So in this case, we're going to paste in that first GPS point. Okay, I'm going to bring that down a line so we can see it. And I'm going to bring down the closing quotations so that we can play around a little bit more. So that is going to set the flight plan into our system. Okay, and let's get a second GPS waypoint so we can actually see them both appear on the Almanac at the same time. So let's go back to our GPS menu. We'll get waypoint 2. We'll copy that to our clipboard. And then we're going to go back to our Mother custom data. We're going to go down to our command, and we're just going to add a new line, which would be space separated. So imagine if these are on the same line, it would look like this, where we enclose the waypoints or the flight plan string in double quotes, and then every GPS waypoint is separated by a space. That's simple, nothing too complicated there. Okay, so we'll bring it down to our new line. We'll bring this guy down to our new line, and that's our whole command. So let's just set FP as our command actually to prove our point. And we're going to press OK. And then we're going to go here into Mother, and we're just going to run set. We're going to recompile because we updated our custom data. And we're going to run set flight plan. Boom. So our flight plan has been loaded into our system. And we'll notice on the Almanac, we've actually cataloged both of those waypoints that we're interested in flying around of. And if we go to fly the actual grid, you'll notice that as we move, those points actually change on the screen. So this is happening in real time. The grids are communicating with each other, and we're in real time determining where we are relevant to all of those other waypoints. Now, kind of a trite example because we all happen to be in a line, but you'll see that they're starting to move now. Okay, now we've committed our flight plan, but of course we want to fly our flight plan. Right, so knowing that our flight plan is in our system, we can just engage the flight control system or autopilot. I think I'm going to change the name for this one, but for now it is flight control system start. And when we run this, basically Mother is going to one by one pass the waypoint information to our remote control block on our grid. And so Mother is going to manage the flight plan rather than the remote control block. And I did this because we want to monitor that flight plan. We want to know where we are against it. We may want to run actions when we get to certain waypoints. That's another feature I'm working on right now. So the remote control block at any given time only handles one waypoint, and its autopilot is ultimately what takes us to and from. So if we run the FCS start command, what this is going to do is trigger the autopilot on that remote control block. And as soon as we do that, you'll notice we're now moving, and we're going to fly to waypoint 1, can actually watch our Almanac update here. And as soon as we get to waypoint 1, it's going to, yeah, it's going quite slow. I'll have to update the speed on this. Max is 5 meters per second, of course, that's really, really slow. But to prove the point, it's going to tag this waypoint. And as soon as we get here, precision mode's probably off. Turn that on. Let's run it again. There we go. If we go to our remote control block, we can see we're currently flying a waypoint 2 now. So we tagged waypoint 1, a bit janky there, but normally it works. Now we're flying over to waypoint 2. So you're going to see autopilot, and we'll see autopilot engaged, and as soon as we get to that waypoint, we're going to notice autopilot disengages. There we go. So that was how we committed our flight plan. And now at any given time, these waypoints will stay in the Almanac. So Mother knows of them, and in fact, they're going to persist even if we reboot Mother. So if we go into Mother and we run a recompile, the waypoints will still be there. So you'll notice we've got a 4 for our Almanac on the right-hand side. And this is great because this means this information persists across sessions. So you don't have to worry about losing anything if you've got your flight plans loaded. This, of course, can be expanded. There's no limit to the number of waypoints you've got. And like I mentioned, I want to get to a point where you can actually make the grids do and run certain commands at waypoints specifically, maybe if it's in the middle of your flight plan. This is something I'm exploring more, and I'd love your feedback on whether that's worth pursuing. This is the conclusion of the intro for Mother. I'm actively developing a bunch of other features. I'd love for the actual flight plan to be displaying on this screen. That's something I'm working on right now. And of course, I want to expand the command library to cover off a lot of the more common use cases that you typically connect via a grid. So if you guys have any ideas about what you'd love the commands to do, what you'd love to see, what features are missing, just drop me a line on any of these videos or in the Steam Workshop, and I will happily look into them. Thanks very much for your time, and I hope you enjoy using Mother as much as I enjoyed building it. Take care. Bye.